Hello, I'm here once again. This is your host, Dr. Tulipo Mwenifumbo, and welcome back to the lesson of social psychology. And today we are looking at social psychology lesson 2, where we are going to look at social cognition. This is your host and your instructor, Dr. Tulipo Mwenifumbo, and this course or subject is coming from the book entitled The Influence of Social Behavior, which is written by Dr. Tulipo Mwenifumbo. And this book will help you in many ways. Even if you are not a student or you are, social psychology touches every area of your life. And in this lesson, we are going to look at social cognition. And when we look when we talk about social cognition, we are going to look at perception and attribution, and we are going to look at schemas and stereotype, and we are going to also to look at heuristics and biases. So let's look at these are the things that we are going to focus on. When we are going to talk about social cognition, which can help us better navigate social situations, build strong relationships, and make more informed decisions. And also, we will talk about perception. It helps us to build stronger relationships and make more informed. So these are the terms that are going to be common in this topic as we are studying social psychology in lesson 2, where we are looking at cognition. Now, let's look at what does the term social cognition means. So when you talk about social cognition, it refers to the processes by which people perceive, interpret, and make sense of social information. It involves understanding how we think about others, ourselves, and social situations. So, in short, we are saying that social cognition refers to the processes by which people perceive, interpret, and make sense of social information. It involves understanding how we think about others, ourselves, and social situations. So the key concepts in what is called social cognition are what is called schemas, which is or schemas, which is mental frameworks that organize and simplify social information. So there are in our mental faculty, there is what is called schemas, which uh, which works in a mental frameworks that organize and simplify social information. Then there is also what is called attributions. Attribution, it refers to interference about causes of events or behaviors. Then also we look at impressions, which is initial judgments about others based on limited information. So impression is the initial judgment about others and is based on limited information. Then we also look at attitudes, which is evaluations of people, groups, or ideas. So let's look at our processes. So when we talk about processes, we are talking about perception, that is selecting, interpreting, and organizing social information. Uh, in philosophy, we say things are not the way they are. They're not the way they are, but the way we think. So, according to the perception that we have, it is going to make us be able to flow in a social setting. So, perception is the selecting, interpreting, and organizing of social information. Then there is also what is called attention. Attention focusing on certain stimuli while ignoring others. So, when we are looking, we want to search something in the YouTube. Maybe you want to search for certain information. You are going to overlook other information, and concentrate on the information that you want to get. So that is what is called attention. You may be looking at a lot of things, but you just want to see a certain thing. That is called attention. And for those that have been in my classes, or you have listened to my YouTube channels, we have looked at these things in other subjects of psychology. So then when we talk about memory, we are talking about recalling and reconstructing social information. We are saying recalling, that is remembering and also reconstructing of social information. Let's look at biases and errors when it comes to cognition. So biases and errors, that is confirmation biases. They are what is called confirmation biases, that is seeking information that confirms existing beliefs. Like this is very much common when it comes to religious debates. When people are debating about religious, they do what is called confirmation biases. And in this confirmation biases, that's where now people looks at what they want to hear, and they only targets only the things that they want to know. And the things that they have been taught. That is called confirmation biases. When you are going into, for example, you are looking for something. If you are a person who believes that the Bible allows beer drinking, so whatever that you're going to see, you just want to see the scriptures that confirms that you must be drinking beer. And same, if you don't drink, you just want to look for the scriptures that forbids drinking beer. So that is what is called confirmation biases. Then there is what is called fundamental attribution error. When we talk about fundamental attribution error, we are talking about overstimulating, over, overestimating personalities' law in shaping behavior. That is overestimating. When we talk about overestimating personality, is law in shaping behavior. So your personality can shape behavior. Then we also talk about illusion of control. That is believing one has more control over events than they actually do. So these are biases and errors when it comes to understanding of social settings and how we make judgment and selection when it comes to social settings. Now, the importance, when we talk about importance, that is understanding social behavior, social cognition helps us explain why people behave in a certain way. Why people behave in a certain way. So it also that is improving relationships. Um, so social psychology helps us to improve relationship by recognizing cognitive biases. We can improve communication and empathy. So cognitive biases are the things that we have uh, in our minds, or things that we have which we have been put in the what is called the subconscious. So that creates the decision making. So social cognitive informs decision making in personal and professional context. And social cognition application. So when you talk about social cognition, uh, cognition in social psychology, it helps us in understanding social cognition, informs theories and interventions. So when you are a social psychologist researcher, it helps you uh, to understand how you should interact and also which areas you need to research. In marketing and advertising, it applies social cognition principles to influence consumer behavior. And in education, it helps in developing effective teaching methods and training. Perception. The term perception is defined as the process of interpreting and organizing sensory information from the environment. So the process uh, of interpreting and organizing sensory information from the environment is called perception. So we perceive things by what we are seeing in the environment. So factors influencing perception, that is past experiences, expectations, emotions and cultural background. So we perceive things because of our past experiences. What you have what you have experienced in the past may determine how you will perceive something. I'll give you an example. When you are passing through the smoke, even when you are in a car and you have the windows closed, you may find that you may suffocate, you may feel suffocating, not necessarily that you have been shocked by smoke, but because of the experiences that you have. Now, when we talk about attribution, we are talking about the process of assigning causes to events or behaviors. You assign causes to events and behaviors. There are also types of attributions, that is internal and also external. When you talk about internal attributions, we are talking about dispositional attribution, and also when you talk about external, we are talking about situational. Now, we are talking about things that are outside and also things that are inside. So your thinking may deceive you, or you may see something which is not there through your thinking. And also, you may not believe what is there because of the external factors. Attribution theories. There is this held as attribution theory, which says people tend to attribute behavior to either internal or external factors. So the we see what there is this theory where we say we see not the way things are, but the way we are. Kerry's also created a model which is um, um, covariation model, which says attribution depends on consistency, distinctiveness, and consciousness. So we are talking about him. He said, no, what makes us to see things in a way we see them, it is through consistency, and that is the thing that makes us to look at things in that way. So biases and errors in cognition. There is fundamental attribution error, which is overestimating the law of personality in shaping behavior. So these are the theories like where you say, is it the environment that shapes the behavior of someone, or it is the uh, people are the ones that shapes the environment. Then act as observers, which is attributing own behavior to external factors and others' behavior to internal factors. So the outside behavior can influence your inner person, or the inner person can influence the outside behavior. And there is a course in theology which is called hematology. In hematology is the study of sin, and why people is it that people are born evil, or they learn to be evil? So now there are debates about such things. The importance, so understanding behavior, perception, and attribution influence how we understand and interpret others' behavior. So sometimes we misjudge people because of the way we look at, like maybe in your tribe you have you understand things in a certain way. So you begin to judge wrongs and right, basing on your biases of uh, your tribal or your cultural norms. Social interactions. Social interactions is the accurate perception and attribution can improve relationships and communication. It's very fun when we talk about how the we are influenced by our cultural grounds. I remember one time we were when we are in college. We are in a seminary, and we had Canadian students, we had Congolese students, we had Zambian students, and students from different countries. Now, when we were in the chapel, there were those students that believed God should be honored because He is the Father. So you have to kneel down to pray to God. And there are those that believe God is you can be praying whilst you are walking or whilst you have opened your eyes. So that brought a lot of debate. Now, when a Canadian student was asked, how do you approach your dad? Can you speak with your dad with your hands in your pocket? Yes, he said yes. Why not? And some Congolese students, they just refused. No, that's not, you cannot talk with your father when your hands are in the pocket. So those are the biases that happens when it comes to errors and biases. So social psychology helps researchers looks at these things. Recognizing biases and errors can improve empathy and communication. Also, in workplaces, it helps in accurate attribution can help in teamwork because you will not be judgmental to other people. Then there is also what is called schemas. This is the mental framework that organize and simplify information about people, events, and concepts. So, schemas, you have heard about schemes. So that is the mental framework that organize and simplify information about people, events, and concepts. The function of schemas, it helps us process and understand complex information. And also there are what is called the types of schemas, that is event schemas, law schemas, and solve schemes. Then there is what we call stereotypes. That is, when we talk about stereotypes, we are looking at overly simplified and often inaccurate schemas about groups of people. The characteristic of stereotypes is rigid, resistant to change, and often based on limited information. People, they try to show that they know something that which they don't know. Um, Somebody just called me and was asking me, is your institution registered with TAVETA? Are you accredited with TAVETA for you to be offering this? Then I answered him, oh, we don't offer vocational courses. Say, now, how can you be operating when you are not registered with TAVETA? So I said, you sound not to have the complete information about the system of education in Zambia. And he said, no, I have. That's why I'm asking. I said, okay, have you been in any college? He said, yes, I've been in college. Can you mention the college that you have been to? He failed to say. So people, they have got stereotypes, those people that thinks they know, but their information is limited. The consequences of stereotypes can lead to prejudice, discrimination, and social injustice, because you may think you know, yet you don't know. How schemas and stereotypes influence us. Information processing, schemas and stereotypes can influence what we notice, remember, and interpret. Expectations can shape our expectations and interactions with others. Biases can lead biases and errors in judgment. So consequences of stereotypes, that is prejudice and discrimination. So when you are stereotype, it may create what is called prejudice, and discrimination can lead to unfair treatment and social injustice, because you may think what you're doing is right, yet you are not doing it, things in a right way. This mostly happens to someone who has no complete knowledge and is in leadership. When we were doing the project called Vision 2025, where we were establishing cooperatives, we had a lot of challenges with a lot of leaders where they want to take possession of the powers that have not been vested to them, and they feel they are the ones that are supposed to do those things. So that is those are stereotypes. Limited opportunities can restrict opportunities and potential for individuals and groups. So when we have such people in leadership, it creates it can restrict opportunities and potential for individuals and groups. So negative self-concept can affect self-esteem and identity. So how can we overcome stereotypes? Exposure to diverse perspective. Engaging with people from diverse backgrounds can help us improve our stereotype or other people that are stereotypes. Education and awareness, learning about different cultures and experiences. Critical thinking, challenging assumptions and biases. Sometimes you just have to say, is this true? In philosophy, we talk about whereby you have to be sure what you are talking about, why, how, and so you should have a lot of questions and answers. Why are things the way they are? Why am I behaving like this? Why is it you say? So you have to ask a lot of questions for you to have the answers. Then when you talk about heuristics, this is also a certain behavior, which is the mental shortcuts or loose of far more that simplify decision making. You just want to make decisions without having the complete knowledge. So availability of heuristic, that is judging likelihood based on easy of recall. So because you are making judgment over the environment, or you are behaving in a certain way because of the what you can just recall. Then there is a representativeness heuristic, which is judging probability based on similarity to typical cases. For example, a client comes to you as a counselor or a psychologist, and he tells you, my wife, when she's cooking, she hits the pot. Then another one comes, my wife when she's cooking. You just conclude. Your mind tells you hits the pot. So that is being heuristic. Anchoring heuristic, that is relying too heavily on initial information. Sometimes information changes. You may, like sometimes I may give the same assignment from year to year. And those, when students copy from the previous year, maybe where somebody had done that assignment and they bring it to me, then they get less marks. Then they come to me and ask me, no, sir, but this one is the question is the same, but things have changed. So people, they like to rely uh, on initial information. Then biases, when you talk about biases, we are talking about systematic errors in thinking and decision making. There are different biases. There is what is called confirmation bias, that is seeking information that confirms your belief. Then there is hindsight bias, which is believing after an event that it was predictable. Then self-serving bias, which is attributing success to internal factors and failures to external factors. So those also are biases. Then the impact of heuristic and biases, that is decision making. Heuristic and biases can lead to suboptimal decision, and it can also lead to judgments, can influence judgments about people, events, and situation, and also it can influence problem solving. How can we overcome heuristic and biases? That is, we need to be aware, we need to learn, we need to be we need to open up to learning, and also open up to critical thinking and seeking diversity or diverse perspective. We should not be biased to the information that we have. We should not be biased to the doctrines that we know. Especially as psychologists, we need to widen up our nets of information. So social cognition can help us better navigate situations, and perception helps us to build stronger relationships, and also understanding heuristics and biases helps us to make more informed decisions. For more information, and if you want to learn more about the class that we have today, it has been a long class. You can buy this book, or you can order this book, which is The Influence of Social Psychology, written by Dr. Tulipo Mwenifumbo. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Meet you in the next class.